What do I do when I'm forgiven for my sins, but I continue to be haunted about the ongoing effects of them on others around me? Hi, my name is Ted Rosenblatt, and I'm here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt, and this is Talks with Dad Rod. We Lutherans have what we call a two-kingdom paradigm, and where we have the kingdom of the left, all the earthly things, and we have the kingdom of the right with the heavenly things. And when I sin against God, for me to go and seek absolution, to confess my sins, and to hear the absolution, to receive the absolution from the one God put there to do that.
Yep.
In Jesus' name, that's great.
Yep.
But the effects linger when I do certain things on the people around me, and I'm burdened continually.
Yeah, all too real for many, many people. And I wish I had a simple answer for it, but it gets me into the field of psych, of a therapist, and I'm not in that field. I can play a part through what you're talking about, preaching the gospel, absolving sinners, but a clinical psychologist, I'm not. And many times, the earthly consequences of some of our sin are there with us probably till death. They're going to bother us one way or another, at some level or another, in living our lives and seeing what our sin has done on people probably close to us. And I don't have a simple answer for that. It's a marvelous thing that God has forgiven you at great cost, the cost of his only son to death on a cross to make that happen. But that's one part of it only, the part that people are so burdened by, I, as a pastor, don't have a simple answer for.
And sometimes we see it in movies, where somebody comes because they're so burdened because they've hurt somebody. The story in our storytelling, where they come to him and they'll try to get forgiveness from the one they've harmed in some way.
Yeah.
And some of these where the person is just so damaged that they can't even give them that. You're just gonna, you're not going to get my forgiveness. I'm not going to forgive you.
Yeah, tragic.
And it's a heavy weight.
Even AA, where you're called to kind of make recompense for some of the things that you've done, there's every possibility that the person will say, not on your life.
But I think you have done a good job. You're not a therapist, but you're a dad and you're a son. And one of the things you've done is you've modeled how it's possible for that sort of thing to be done on this earth through those, either by adoption or just through proximity and loving one another and all that. Get that sort of thing in spite of the fact that we're in the kingdom of the left. So like your story about your dad in the car, there was no reason for him to do for you what you in the story you talked about, because you deserved all the condemnation earthly.
Yep. And got just the opposite from him. I mean, part of the reason I'm a theist is because of that 20 minutes. I was drunk. All of my young fraternity members in the high school were drunk, crashed the car. He came and got us, took the other guys home. We came back to the house. He told my mother to leave us alone. We were on the couch, and he had his arm around my shoulder. I was weeping and shaking, and he said, "That's shock. That's all right." And then, out of the blue, he says, "I think what you need is a new car. Go look and see if you can find something, and then let me know. We'll go take a look." I mean, what father does that?
Yeah, and being a father, I think about, we understand as parents here in this kingdom, am I not just feeding the beast? Am I not just giving license? Am I not just teaching my child that that if they go and do some terrible, terrible thing, that they're going to get a reward out of it? Isn't that exactly the opposite of what I should teach them? The natural would be, if you do something really bad, you get really bad punishment. We all expect that, right?
Yep, and I did. Defining moment.
And that takes a level of faith and understanding that's beyond most of us. That sort of thing is so rare. I'm glad you're able to tell that story, and at least we see it and hear it modeled for us, so it existed.
Yeah.
This was in our lifetimes.
Yep.
This sort of thing was modeled for us. Even if we weren't there, you were able to tell the story and bring us there.
Yep.
You know, I'm
Yep.
forever upset that Granddad died before I got to hang out with him. But the paradigm does exist sometimes,
Right.
where somebody near you who cares about you at that level, whether it's a parent or a friend or anybody, you know, somebody who's connected with you, it helps alleviate or take away some of that punishment that you are very rightly owed.
Yeah. And give you just the opposite.
And this kind of ties in with what we had done in that episode on standing up for somebody, being their advocate, advocating for somebody.
Right. Right.
That's exactly what that's about, is fighting for somebody when they're going to be crushed, even by their own hand.
Yep. Yep. It's worth remembering. That's a story I'll never forget. And a lot of people have said to me, it made a lot of people mad that I didn't get what I deserved.
Yeah. That bothers the heck out of people.
Yep.
And I know, I'm a parent.
Yep.
You know, I've got kids. I know. It's a very scary concept. I can't even imagine.
Yep.
If my one of my kids came back and I found out they'd crashed the car and they'd been drinking.
Yep.
You know, what would my inclination be? You know?
Mine too.
My inclination is not, let's go get you a new car tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it alters that sort of grace and love towards somebody that it's unearthly. It's literally counter this existence, this kingdom. In our two kingdom paradigm, it's literally the opposite of what we all know we should get. When I run the red light, when I run the stop sign, I should get the ticket.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Yep.
Whether or not the cop forgives me for my bad behavior or not.
The ticket's given.
I forgive you. Here's your ticket.
Yep.
So yeah, I wish it doesn't sound like there's an easy answer to that, but at least sometimes we get to see it modeled. We have you here now telling the story, so we hear of this sort of thing having happened.
Yep.
It's not our absolution, but we hear of someone's absolution.
Yep.
When it wasn't deserved, so that you can then
just the opposite of what I deserved.
And then you get to enjoy the benefits of that here. That's really what's happened in Dad's house. Anybody who's hung out in Dad's house for any length of time knows that that's the spirit of what goes on there. And in that forgiveness, they are able to get back up again and keep moving forward, even though the memory of it and the haunting of it doesn't really go away. Coming back to the original question.
Yep.
Anyway, we'll cut it. I know it doesn't really quite, there really isn't a black and white answer on this one, but I hope we can give you some comfort out of what we've done and what Dad's gone through. So come to 1517.org for more. Catch us on social media, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.